In this video, I'm going to basically explain how to go from $0 to $10,000 a month over the course of 6 months. And I'm going to explain exactly what you should be doing. There's one very simple thing you have to do. And if you do it, it's going to get you to 10 grand a month. It's a pretty good little unique technique. I've got some notes here that I'm going to walk you through, and let's get into the video. So my name's Charlie Morgan. I built and scaled 2 companies, a marketing agency to 7 figures and a coaching business to multi-7 figures. And I help people make client acquisition easy. That's enough about me. Let's talk about you for a second. So I am assuming with this video that you are relatively new to the game. You might have a client or two, you might be starting out, and you want to sort of, you've put the 10 grand a month on the holy pedestal of God, right? That's all you want. That's all you want to focus on, is getting to 6 figures. In this video, I'm going to explain how. All you have to do to get to 10 grand a month is do 120 outreaches a day to businesses for 6 months, every day. If you do that, that is the fastest way for you to get to 10 grand a month. What this assumes, right, is that each outreach takes around 3 minutes of time. So cold outreach could be cold call, could be cold email, could be cold messaging. So source the lead, the contact, to write something up to send them or to call them, and to file them in as a lead or whatever, should take you 3 minutes. So that's 6 hours a day of outreach. If you're new to business, if you run a marketing agency or a coaching business and you're new, if you're not doing 6 hours of outreach a day, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's a serious question. It's not a rhetorical one. If you're not doing 6 hours of outreach every single day, and if you're not contacting 120 businesses every single day, you are imperatively, vitally, crucially fucked, right? Now, I'm not saying that you're literally gonna die, but my point here is that you need to do it. You need to take it really bloody seriously. This is your entire future. If you're not doing 120 outreaches a day, what are you doing? What are you doing with your day? Are you building a website? Are you building an onboarding funnel for clients that don't even exist yet? Are you going ahead and spending 3 hours designing a logo and deciding which shade of red you should be putting on it? Bullshit, and you know it. You know it. You know that everything you're doing that isn't outreach is a complete waste of your time. Stop trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. Stop building fancy websites. Stop trying to build like onboarding funnels for clients you don't have. Stop trying to build payment gateways for clients you don't have. Just focus on the first problem. Starting a business is like driving a car at night. You should only be looking at what is 10 meters in front of you. If you try and look a mile down the road in the dark, you're going to wrap yourself around a tree. And that's what most people do in business when they start, is they try and start solving, problem Y before they've even solved problem A. I'm going to explain exactly how this works and the entire math behind this premise. So 120 outreaches a day. Now, we understand that to acquire clients, we need to book appointments, right? To book appointments, we need to actually reach out to businesses to do that. And so what I want you to do for a second with me is assume that we are very bad at cold outreach and we have a 0.8% appointment booking rate on our contacts. So what that means is that if we make 120 cold calls, or we send 120 cold emails, or we send 120 cold messages, that we get around 1 response per 120. That assumes we've got a really bad appointment booking rate of 0.8%, right? That is not good, okay? But here's the sweet thing of this. If you're spending 3 minutes per outreach, you have some time to introduce some quality and potentially some personalization to each individual outreach, which naturally will increase the response rate that you get. But let's just say it's a 1% response rate. Here's the thing. It's going to take you 6 hours a day to do. This is the challenge. 180 days, 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, 120 outreaches every day. If you do this, you can make more than a doctor makes in a year just after building a business for 6 months. It takes a doctor, 7 or 8 years, probably about 10 years if you account for all of the career trajectories they've got to do. It takes them about 10 years to build a 6-figure salary. It takes most people, 5 to 10 years in a job to build a 6-figure salary. And you're telling me that you can't be bothered to do 6 hours of work a day for 180 days because you're afraid of rejection. Shut up, right? Now, I'm not trying to attack anyone here, but I want you to realize that this is possible. And I can only make you realize that's possible by explaining it. So 120 outreaches a day. That is 1 call every day. Now, let's say that you do this Monday to Friday, right? Let's say that you're weak and you don't work on the weekends. Not that working on the weekends makes you strong, but if you're starting and you're not working on the weekends, I don't know what you're doing. Your priorities are set in the wrong way. But let's just say that you work Monday to Friday, for argument's sake, and keep this pessimistic and simple. Because if you do it on the weekends as well, you will get better results. You do 120 outreaches, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What that means is you book 1 call every day, right? Now, let's imagine for argument's sake, let's say your sharp rate is anywhere between like 60 to 80%. What that means is that you conduct 3 to 4 sales calls every week. And that's what will happen. If you do 120 outreaches a day and you're not in a shitty niche and you've got a good offer, then you will generate 3 to 4 calls a week. Here's the thing. If you are doing this and you're not booking a call a day, then you're either in a really bad niche or you've got a really bad offer. So if you're not booking these, you need to look at those 2 things. Am I in a niche where everyone's doing cold outreach and everyone's saying the same thing? Or have I got a bad offer? Because client acquisition is cause and effect. It's not like a magical, weird, woo-wah, alchemic thing where you get clients out of fucking thin air for no reason. There's a very specific formula behind it, and really it's just niche times offer. And if you have those two things aligned and the offer resonates with the niche and is slightly different and positions you in a different way to your competition, you will get clients. So back to the math. You're operating on 3 to 4 calls per week, because your churn rate is a little bit shaky, but that's natural. What this means is that you conduct 12 to 16 sales calls per month. If you are consistent with your outreach efforts on 120 a day and you spend 6 hours a day on it, you will book 1 a day, you will conduct 3 to 4 a week, which means you're conducting 12 to 16 calls per month. What this now means is that if you do this over a 3-month period, being a business quarter, then what that's going to mean is you basically book, you actually conduct, right? If you're doing 12 to 16 a month, you conduct 48 to 78 calls every quarter. So every 3 months, you're doing 48, 78 calls. Now, let's assume you're bad at sales and you only have a 10% sales conversion rate. So you have to talk to 10 business owners, actually talk to them. You talk to 10 business owners before you can get a client. Now, what that means is that every quarter, you're going to be able to sign 5 to 8 clients. So we can take 6 hours of work a day for 3 months and turn it into 5 to 8 clients. And let's say that you're charging $1,000 a month, just for argument's sake, to keep it relatively low. What that means is that you're going to be making $5,000 to $8,000 per month in recurring client revenue after 3 months. If we times that by 2, we get to $10,000 to $16,000. And that's the maths. So if you do that for 6 months, then you will get basically anywhere between $10,000 to $16,000. This is obviously a simplified model of reality, but really this is what it takes. This is all you have to do. And I don't know why people complicate this so much. I don't know why people get so confused. Like, how do I get to 10 grand a month? Like, you just reverse engineer the maths. It's like, what is 10 grand a month? Well, it's 10 clients, each paying you 10 grand. It's like, okay, well, how good are you at sales? Not very good at sales. All right, we'll take it. Let's just say you've got a 10% sales conversion rate on average. All right, how many calls do you need to get 10 clients if you've got a 10% sales conversion rate? Oh, I don't know. Probably like 100 calls, which is what you need. It's like, okay, well, what's your show up rate on calls? It's probably not very good. I'd probably say that, mostly it's going to be about like roughly 60%, 70%. All right, well, that means you need to book 150 calls, right? How do you book 150 calls? Oh, well, I'm not very good at cold outreach. I'd probably say for every 100 cold calls I make, 1 person will book in. It's like, all right, so what we need to do then is we need to just times 150 by 100, right? And that gives us 15,000. So what that means is that you're 15,000 cold calls away from 10 grand a month. That is how you have to think. Business is an input and output game. If you remove the emotion and you take all of your fear and worry and anxiety and self-hatred and anger away from the equation, and you just boil it down to numbers, you can rationalize predictable work. And if you do that predictable work, you will get the predictable result you want. It's only when your emotions start interfering with this process that you stop being consistent, or you start changing random shit, or you go and build a fucking logo for 3 hours without any attention to outreach at all. All I'm trying to tell you to do here is commit to doing 6 hours of outreach every single day for the next 6 months, right? Consistently, no matter what happens. I don't care if after a week you book no appointments. The whole point here is that we want to establish consistency of your character and data, so we can start taking that data and making decisions. For example, if you do 100 cold calls, right, and you do that once, that's not enough data to make a decision. But if you do it for 7 days and you do 700 cold calls and you still haven't booked any calls, then you can start iterating and changing your script. If you understand the scientific method, you understand the scientific processes, then you can acquire clients. I'm not going to go into that story for another day, but this is the key. It's this simple. You just break down the math. How much do you want to make? How many clients do you need at what price to make it? How many sales calls do you need to conduct to get there? How many calls do you need to book to get there? And how many emails do you need to send to book those calls? It really just comes down to this reverse engineered mathematical perspective of it. And if you can learn to do this and you actually have a clear-cut goal, it no longer becomes about the outcome, but more about the input. And so what this means is your goal now should not be 10 grand a month. Your goal should be 6 hours of outreach every day, 120 every single day, whatever comes first. So if you get 120 done in 4 hours, you're done. But this is the thing. And this is the thing that I don't understand about a lot of people that start, is they say they want to make 10 grand a month, and then you tell them to make a cold call. Then they show their true colors. Oh, but I don't want to make cold calls. What do you want more? Not to make cold calls or to make 10 grand a month? You're telling me that you can't sit there and dial and talk to human beings you're never going to meet for 6 hours a day to make 10 grand a month, which is more than it takes most people 10 years to build a career around? Come on, man. Where's your character? This might feel like a rant. It might feel like an attack. I promise it is with your best interests at heart, because I wish I had someone telling me this shit when I was 18 years old, when I was 19 years old, when I was 17 years old, building my first agency and struggling through the work. But that was the one thing that separated me from a lot of other people, is I got up and I just did, 100, 200, 300 outreaches every single day for about 6 months. And I built an agency that was making around 8 grand a month. I had no idea what I was doing. I couldn't sell for jack shit. My service delivery was a bit shaky. My onboarding process was laughable. I didn't even have a website. My logo looked like some fucking 3-year-old kid with some serious learning difficulties had designed it. Lo and behold, the only thing that mattered was the fact that I stayed consistent with pure pain. And I just did the work and did the work and did the work and did the work. And eventually the market rewarded me for doing that. If you want to get clients, you have to deserve clients. Let me repeat that. If you want clients, you have to deserve them. And deserving a client does not extend to you sitting behind a mouse and keyboard and sending 50 emails and crossing your fingers. You have to be relentless in your pursuit of success. And if you're not willing to do that, then you will not get results. So I wanted to make this video to potentially motivate you and just inspire you to do it. And not to do it today and tomorrow and the next space, but to do it for the next 6 months. Because if you do that, you will come back to this video and you will think, fucking hell, I really did do that, and I am now in a completely different place. And even if you don't get to 10 grand a month, let's say you get to 4 grand a month. You build a 50 grand a year business and all you have to do is a little bit of outreach. Like, come on, man. Where's the character? So that's everything for this video. I hope you found it helpful and somewhat inspiring, and hopefully not too discouraging, but it's a harsh word that a lot of people need to hear. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you can do the whole subscribe, like, and comment thing. I'd really appreciate it if you did all those things. But more importantly, if you are looking for a system that can help you actually predictably acquire clients, you can click the first link in the description. I run a business and we help people acquire clients. It's a coaching program. It works incredibly well. We've served about 430 people. I don't care if you click the link or not, but it's an option for you to explore should you ever feel the need to. That's everything for me. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I really do sympathize and empathize with what you're going through right now if you're struggling to build something, because it's not easy, but that's the fucking point. All right? Talk to you later. Have a good day.